Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope we meet you well. Okay, we'll be looking at a subject, terrorism, if you want. Let's look at terrorism. The news is all out there. Police arrest Simon Ekpa and 4 others in Finland. Simon Ekpa, most Nigerians will realize, is a Nigerian Finn? Or is it a Finn Nigerian? Nigerian Finnish. I'm not sure about the way that is sounding. So, as you know, he's been arrested by the authorities there. But let me quickly tell you about our guests. In studio here, Dr. Tony Ofoyeton, Director General, International Institute of Professional Security. A fine morning to you, Tony.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you for coming on, sir. And reaching us remotely, yet again, but we can never get enough of you, Dennis. Dennis Amakre, MON, Security Consultant. Good morning to you, Dennis.
Good morning, Yori. Good morning, Tony.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tony, Dennis, for coming on, especially as in your geographical location. You guys are in the wee hours of the morning or something like that. Thank you very much for the added efforts. Okay. So on to business now. Maybe it's best. There's this newspaper report that from this morning, and the Ohaneze Ndigbo has been commenting on the whole matter. In fact, beyond commenting, they put out a whole statement. And in the statement by the Secretary General of Ohaneze, Okechukwu Isuguzoro, the group noted that the arrest and detention of Ekpa was expected to resolve the pervasive insecurity challenges that have beleaguered southeastern Nigeria for far too long. Isuguzoro added that Ekpa's intention to publicly declare a sovereign Biafra nation on December 2nd, 2024 was not only misguided, but indicative of a reckless disregard for the profound consequences such an action will take. His actions, continues Mr. Isuguzoro, his actions could have sparked uncontrollable civil unrest and perhaps have culminated in another Biafran war, a prospect that the Igbo people have conclusively rejected and remain unprepared to engage in. And it concludes with, upon this crucial arrest, Ohaneze Ndigbo categorically denounces the notion that individuals like Simon Ekpa possess the ability, capability, or legitimacy to summon the Igbo nation into conflict. They now rounded it, for good measure, they rounded it off with, this organization acknowledges Ekpa's disturbing record over the last 3 years, wherein he has systematically wreaked havoc upon the very fabric of our society and economy, implementing his illegitimate Monday sit-at-home directive with the aid of armed men who have terrorized our nation and our communities. Okay, so that's, in case you haven't seen This Day This Morning, that story is coming out of, is it? Yep. It's coming out of, it's on the front page of This Day This Morning. So, Dennis, there you have it. Tony, there you have it, just in case you haven't had a chance to look through all the papers. There's more to it, but this was just an extract where Ohaneze is categorically, removing itself, denouncing, the said gentleman, what's that his name again? Simon Ekpa. Let me start off with you over there in the U.S., Dennis. You've been speaking about this all week, but I think for the first time now we've had this categorical statement. There's little much more to be said, to be added to Ohaneze's statement, as a matter of fact. How do you see it, Dennis?
Thank you, Yori. Well, I think we are progressing. With the arrest of Simon Ekpa, where he has been out there, engineering all kinds of mayhem on the southeastern part of the country in Nigeria, and of course it's a Finnish, Nigerian Finnish or Finnish Nigerian, who is actually even active in their own local politics over there.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, I think he enjoys what he's doing, and I was expecting this to happen, and then of course extradition. You know, where he should be extradited to Nigeria to answer some of the questions, because a lot of people lost their lives, you know. And then, of course, we have this situation in the Southeast where people cannot come out to go about their normal business on Mondays, you know. And then, of course, the governors cannot do anything about it, because right now it is something that have gone into their heads. You know, people are psychologically affected. You know, and I think with Ohaneze coming out to make that announcement is fine. It means that they are not in support of what he has been doing, but there is a big problem to be solved, and that is what we should do.
Okay, we'll touch on that as the program continues. And, well, Tony, a categorical denouncing of Simon Ekpa and his efforts there. But as Dennis was just saying, and as IPOB have been saying for quite a while, all his activities, all Simon Ekpa's activities are illegal. They are unauthorized. Yet, as we were just hearing from Dennis, the governors, nobody seems to be able to do anything about it. What do you think is responsible for this? If we've heard from, I don't know how to really refer to it, the central IPOB have said that, go about your businesses. Why do they want to listen to someone else when IPOB itself is speaking, and you that say you're speaking on behalf of IPOB, whatever, is it automatic or what is it, that is own group? So what do you think is going on here? Why don't the people call the bluff? Is it intimidation, terroristic intimidation of the people?
I think let's now liken it to what happened in the Northeast. At the wake of terrorism in the Northeast, what the Boko Haram first did was first of all to instill fear and terror in the heart of the people, to the extent that they even killed some of the local emirs. To the extent that politicians were harassed and terrorized, to the extent that even radio stations there could not even air anything that is against the Boko Haram sect. Now, understand one thing about terrorism. If terrorism will strive, like what we are seeing in Sokoto, thank God that the military is proactive enough to say Lakarua will not survive. Now, if they allow it to survive, it will be a different bug, because the first signature is to instill fear in the people. And whatever they say, whatever blood it will cost, make sure that it come to pass. So, and that was the way government missed it. With due respect, at that first time, when they ordered the sit at home, was when government was supposed to come all out against the sect in its totality. Now, but because they assume erroneously that it is not possible for a sect to give an order and people will obey, knowing full well that the Southeast is a pure commercial region. You understand?
Yes.
Unfortunately, this was not a vulnerability that this group, IPOB, capitalized on and ensured that people sat at home. And more especially because many of the people there, whether you like it or not, are sympathetic to the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Indeed.
And that was the template upon which that sit at home is sitting upon. So the issue of sit at home is sitting upon the template that if Nnamdi Kanu is not released, then continue to sit at home. Whether you force people or not, some people naturally are ready to sit at home.
Even though that is not the central policy of IPOB itself.
Yes, it's not. It's not. Yes, it's not. But, this becomes more or less like an annexure that is fundamental in view of the recent reality. Now coming to Simon Ekpa and what the Ohaneze said. What Ohaneze said is what elderly people will normally say.
That's right.
in any crisis situation.
That's right.
You call it crisis management, communication in crisis management. You want to communicate in such a manner, one, to exonerate yourself, secondly, to prove your loyalty to the federal government and the constitution of the federal government. Now, on paper, you have done that. But the question is this: to what extent can you stop another set of violence, insurrection, and protest if Simon Ekpa comes to Nigeria and is added to Nnamdi Kanu in detention? Because, look, have we been able to stop the violence as it is now? Will that statement stop the violence as it is now? If Simon Ekpa comes, is repatriated back to Nigeria to face charges, will that stop the violence as it is now? If the answer is in the negative or uncertain, then I will advise the federal government that precursor to bringing Nnamdi Kanu, bringing Simon Ekpa, is first of all, put your house in order. Ensure that there's a lot of damage control that is on ground, because there are people that have been obeying him from diaspora. He is not there. Maybe he's funding it. Good. But he's not been there. Now, don't forget that we may also look at the issue of whether we have this repository treaty between us and Finland to the extent that they will be able to repatriate him, or they want to domesticate it, because he must have committed an offense there first. It's not the offense that has been committed in Nigeria.
No. They said this goes back to 2001.
I'm not arguing on that. Are you there with me? But you don't forget that the issue is, was that offense committed there or here? If it was committed, there, they most likely will prosecute him there.
Okay. They say he's using his social media platform.
I agree.
To perpetrate this.
There's no matter of they say it's reciprocal. It speaks for itself. All of us know that. And the truth is that the average Nigerian, the average Igbo man, businessman, wants peace and sanity. Look, you and I were having this lovely conversation with the big boss in the US because Lagos is peaceful.
Yeah.
If Lagos is not peaceful, Egmont, you will not leave your house.
I
will not leave my house.
And this is
what the government is trying to achieve at the end of the day.
Well, let me bring you back in on it, Dennis, in case you wanted to comment on that. Ohaneze Indigbo has spoken well, but as Tony is saying, that is how elders will speak. And they are how do they build themselves? The primary or the topmost social cultural organization. And they have said you couldn't, in fact, as far as that statement went, you couldn't distance us more than we have already done from this gentleman, Simon Ekpa. Going back to the how much this statement could, because as you know, the Simon Ekpas of this world have always thumbed their noses at constituted authority, and now the elders have waded in and said, this has nothing to do with us. So in fact, for the avoidance of that, we categorically denounce him and all his activities. How far would you expect that this would go towards reassuring the whole environment that we are working at peace and peace is indeed possible?
Thank you very much. You see, Tony said it all, where he said that elders will always say this, normally, first, to exonerate themselves, because, they don't want to get him muddled up in this, what is happening right now. So they will definitely say that to exonerate themselves. But like I said earlier, the problem remains. The problem remains. And of course, how do we solve this problem? The arrest of Ekpa and of course bringing him back to Nigeria or repatriating him, if it succeeds, will maybe end up detaining him again, and then we have two people in detention, So I personally would feel that I think this arrest and detain thing should, is not solving the problem. And if it is not solving the problem, then we have to look at other avenues of solving the problem, because I personally don't believe that Nnamdi Kanu being in detention or being released is going to stop it. It is not going to stop it. Even all this Samuel Ekpa thing. There is a problem in Nigeria where we have different kinds of renegade groups, or should I say even people that are coming out from different ethnic groups and saying that, hey, we don't want to be in Nigeria. You know, we have it in the East where IPOB has been saying it, the Biafra movement. We have the one even in Yoruba land where some others are talking about Oduduwa Republic. And then, of course, even in the North, you know, I have some Arewa youths trying to, you know, mention this about splitting away from Nigeria. And then, of course, you have my people down in the South, you know, who are also voicing their own, you know. So I think that problem is the problem we need to solve. We need to sit down and bring all these groups, because I believe, with all my experience in the service when I was in Nigeria, it has proven that sometimes some of these arrests are just on the surface. The real problem is on the bottom. And that problem has to be, the root causes, as we call them, have to be taken care of before we can solve the one problem.
Well, thank you, Dennis. The point about, would you also say that this is a problem that is almost indissoluble, but we can't leave it like that?
Yes, Egbon, you see, the MON said it. You see, if the source of water is muddy, the water itself becomes unfit for drinking. So the best thing you do is to go to the source and make sure that you try to repair it. The Biafra agitation started long before now, and it is not insurmountable. It's just that the government have been, with due respect, pretentious, as if it's not there. Now, if you think that this marriage is breaking, what do? You both couples sit down and discuss it. What do you want? Okay, I can't give you this, I can give you to this extent. I can give you to this extent. Then all of us come back together because there are children already in the marriage. We continue like that. But as it is, when one is ready to say, I am the husband, and whatever I say is final, before you know what is happening, the wife will rebel. Even the children will also rebel. So look at it from that solution perspective. It makes a lot of difference. Government should open up national communication, national dialogue opportunity for everybody to talk. Okay. That's one. Because if Simon Ekpa come to Nigeria now, there are a lot of questions. Wadume was arrested by the same government. He was also released. And as we speak now, Wadume is a free man. You know, a kingpin in terms of terrorism that have killed people, that have destroyed a lot of things in this country, was declared at national level and all those stuff like that. But today is working free as a free man in this country. So if you ask me, I'll say, look, as Simon Ekpa is there, if government think that this man is not good enough, let them be interested in the case there. If possible, let him go to jail there. Let him not come. What happened to the Oduduwa Republic agitator? What is his name? Igbo served his jail term outside Nigeria. It didn't allow those that are within the country to be able to raise up another flag of protest because it was not done in Nigeria. Now that happened to be a wisdom. At the end of the day, it was able to quell the crisis. Today, those that are Yoruba Nation agitation and the like is at the background. Okay. That doesn't mean that agitation is not there.
But when you say jail term, well, his detention.
No, I'm talking about prosecuting him and let the law take its course there. Okay. Forget about fighting to repatriate him back here.
Okay. Ernest in Enugu, good morning, and thank you for holding on.
All right.
Ernest, you're going to have to mute the volume of your TV set. Ernest.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. You know, please go ahead.
Good morning to you.
All right. Oh, I think we might have just lost Ernest. We lost a connection with you, Ernest. So sorry about that. But please, if you do get back on, please don't try and listen to us off your TV set. That usually causes problems. I don't really know. Apart from the audio problems, it could result in what has just happened. So I hope you can try again, NS, who called in from Enugu. Yeah, Dennis, the fact that I think you also indicated that there's still a lot more work to be done. You have an organization like Ohaneze Ndigbo being unequivocal about its disdain for his actions. Ordinarily, you would think, in fact, they themselves said it, that the arrest of Ekpa over there should begin to signal a resolution, light at the end of the tunnel. But then there are those who are looking at it and are saying that, just as Tony has indicated that, and I think as you did earlier, there's a lot more work to be done. We don't even know about the repatriation treaty, whether we have it. The army, the presidency has been mum on this. The army, according to newspaper reports, have said that they are elated over this. But then everybody is still in a sit-on-look mode, as we say locally. Everybody's in a sit-on-look mode. What does this really mean? How far is this going to go? And much more importantly, what will be the effect of this on peace in the southeast? Governors, you indicated at the top, Dennis, governors seem powerless because the people, for some reason, well, I shouldn't say for some reason, are intimidated into silence by these people who are calling this stay at home on Monday illegally, according to Ohaneze Ndigbo. But just before you go, Dennis, Reverend Dominic has called in, so let me include Reverend Dominic. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Chief Jory. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to our brother in the United States of America.
Dennis Amakre. Okay, thank you.
Dennis Amakre, good morning.
All right, then.
Can I go on, sir?
Please go ahead.
Please, I want to use this medium to beg Mr. President. Please, I want to beg him in the name of what you worship. He should not bring this man back to Nigeria. Yori, there's a place called Osu in Imo State. I have a neighbor here who has not been to the East for 4 years. That community now is a ghost community in Imo State because of an agitation. Our elders who live in that community go to primary school to sleep at night and come back in the morning. And the ones that live in Lagos here do not go home. I, Reverend Dominic, sneak into Imo and come out because of Reverend Dominic in my own state, in my own town, because of this agitation. If you bring some Ekpa here, you will put insult, salt, and injury. I beg them, let them try him there. If they find him guilty, let him go to prison there. Today, the man, our Ifa Yoba, who's supposed to be buried this end of this week, or this week, it has been a problem because they say he's the one who caused the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, so he will not be buried in Nnewi. Today, Nigeria is moving soldiers and police so we can bury an innocent man. Please, sir. Please, Nigeria. Don't bring some Ekpa in Nigeria. In fact, some Ekpa groups are worse than IPOP group. There are two groups in the Imo State. Some Ekpa has its own group, which is even behaving like ISIS or Boko Haram. Their own is to kill and bury. The IPOP are soft. The agitation is not even killing. Nnamdi Kanu have said that it's not part of sit at home. But the person who guide and enforce sit at home in Imo State is Samuel Ekpa group. So his own group is worse than Nnamdi Kanu group. If you arrest him here and bring him here, it's a double jeopardy to us in Southeast. I'm pleading to Mr. President. I'm pleading to DSS. I'm pleading to Nigeria Police. Don't bring this man here. It will be a double jeopardy. Oh. God bless Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Reverend. Okay, so now, Dennis, what would be your commentary on Reverend Dominic's presentation?
Sorry, Yori. Most of what he said I didn't hear because maybe the network is not very clear there. I don't know if you can summarize it in two words for me, and I can take from there.
Don't bring Simon Ekpa here. It will be double jeopardy. Don't bring him.
Okay.
Let dispose of the matter, remotely. Don't bring him here.
Very well. That means he's supporting what Tony has said, that he can spend his time in jail over there. Remember, he has gone to jail before in Finland.
In fact, you know, the law is going to treat him as innocent until proven otherwise.
Of course. And, you know, he's been sent to jail before. And for this one, I'm sure they will take him to court again. Even if he has to be expatriated, they have to go ahead and have a court judgment first. And it's the court that will declare, you know, that yes, take him out.
But according to Reverend Dominic, don't bring him to his father's land here. Dispose of him over there in diaspora. Not dispose of him. Dispose of the issue over there. I don't know how Simon Ekpa himself will feel about this. After all, he is a Nigerian. It doesn't matter what he says.
I don't think when you say dispose, it means a lot of things.
That's why I quickly corrected myself. Dispose of the issue over there, yes. not the man himself.
If they have to dispose of the issue over there, yes, they can do that. They've done it before. That's what I was saying, that they've done it before. You know, he has gone to jail for this same incitement before, and he continued doing it, you know. And then, of course, if the Nigerian government is very serious about repatriating him back here, like I said earlier too, it will be one case too many. You know, we cannot just be bringing people and detaining them, because it does not solve the problem. It does not solve the problem. So I want us to forget about all these figures, the leaders that have come out, just like Boko Haram. You know, when Boko Haram came out, Ibrahim Shekau, their leader, you know, after he was eliminated, another leader came out. In fact, their own was very funny, because they had about 3 sets of Ibrahim Shekau that came out, all answering the same name, you know, saying that the last person is not dead. That psychology is that, well, you can take out our leaders, but we will change them, or we are still here.
Yeah.
You know, so that is not the solution. I want us to, like the popular saying in Nigeria, non-kinetic. And non-kinetic is not just going to placate or palliatives, but bring everybody down on the table, sit down, and talk about this.
Okay.
And see why.
Sorry to interrupt, Tony. Dennis, I beg your pardon. Because I wanted to bring in Yakub, who has also been waiting for a while. Good morning to you, Mr. Yakub.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I totally agree with the two guests and then the last caller, which is Reverend Dominic. I believe the political solution is the best answer to this kind of thing that we find ourselves. Because I personally will not also subscribe to bringing in Samuel Ekpa to this country again. Because there is a food on our table already that we eat, and then we have not finished it since the day we are eating it, which is the other person that is in government custody. I think even though they sentence this guy to jail or whatever they did to them, I think the ideology of those guys is not being killed, and then it is not possible that it will be killed. The only thing that the solution, as one of your guests just rightly says, that bringing everybody to the table, let's discuss what is the issues. But we always had that the South is always kind that they have been marginalized, Between me and you and Mr. Ovoyetan there, who is the region that will not say it is being marginalized? Even Southwest here, Chief Yori, travel from Lagos town to Togate. It is just been of recent that they are trying to do some certain things to that place. From Togate down to Abeokuta, it is not mutual. So even we that we in Southwest here, we are passing through a lot as well. Everybody is being marginalized. Why? Why? Because the allocation are being paid to our governor, especially. But what are they using the money for?
Okay.
Even the Southwest, that South side that we are crying that Southeast, they are crying that they are being marginalized. Chief Yori, the question to ask is that, is there any month that the money was not sent to those governors? What are they using money for? And then Mr. Boye, a quick one. He said something earlier that is so damaging to my mind that I was so surprised that Wadume, sincerely I repeat that name, Wadume still, I don't even know that this guy is working free. The person that we know that he killed, to the extent that he killed a police officer, and then Mr. Fuyato was saying that the man is a free man today. What's the country? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Okay, Messrs. Ofoyeton and Amakri, I'll just take a quick break. Be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teachers.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet, sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Committee Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Okay, welcome back. We still have with us Dr. Tony Ofoyeton and Mr. Dennis Amakri. Cecilia is calling in from Abuja. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Good morning, Celia.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri. My name is...
Please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Cecilia. Thank you so much. Uncle Yori, people are sounding like people that don't have faith. Are you listening to me? Are you listening? Are you listening? Hello? Yeah. Now,
yes,
people are sounding like people that don't have faith. We are sounding like the pastors that will tell you, don't be afraid. Are you listening to me?
My guys will give us some volume. It's not your fault. You please continue the way you are speaking.
Okay, I'm still on. I'm still holding.
I'm sure they're going to...
Are you listening to me?
Please continue. Please continue.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Hello?
Hello?
Cecilia?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Oh, yeah, please go ahead now. We will manage.
Good morning to everybody.
But it's not your fault.
US, everybody.
We will manage. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, people are sounding like people that don't have faith. They don't have faith. Now, hello?
Hello, we can hear.
Yeah, I'm speaking. I'm talking, Uncle Yori.
Okay, carry on, please.
Okay, thank you. Now, what I'm trying to say is that people are sounding like people that don't have faith. We are sounding like the pastors that will tell us, don't be afraid. And meanwhile, the pastor that is telling you don't be afraid has police people or hench bouncers around him. Now, coming to the real talk, Simon Ekpa, we don't want to say to the Finnish government to try him there. Because if you do that, you are going to give liver to the guys who are ready to do the same thing that he has done and get away with it. I think I would appreciate a situation where he is repatriated, tried here, and dealt with. Dealt with. I want to use the word. And dealt with. I don't think anybody will suggest that Simon Ekpa will come to Nigeria and intimidate the entire southern region. Look at, let's make reference to Peter Mbak. Peter Mbak alone has been able to say to himself, he is determined to deal with those who want to flout the law. If you flout the law, I deal with it. Please, nobody should suggest that Simon Ekpa should not be repatriated. He should be repatriated, and those who want to toe his line will be dealt with. That is my take on this thing. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in. Well, Tony, you heard her rationale.
I heard her, and I understand her point of argument, and it's a sound point of argument, except for the fact that she stays in Lagos.
I think she was calling from Abuja.
Yes, she stays in Abuja. She stays in the metropolitan city. She's not there. If she's in the east, maybe in one of the restive villages or region, I want to assume that her perspective may not be as absolute as she presented it. Now, the idea is not that it's not a sign of weakening that a warrior retreats. You understand? So if the federal government approaches it from another perspective, Sunday Igboho was not jailed in Nigeria. Sunday Igboho is in Nigeria today. It took the elders to even beg for him to enter into his father's land. You understand what I'm saying? So if now today, anybody that wants to do anything at that level will remember the Sunday Igboho story. Now each case presents its own in different ways and manners. Shekara, we are talking about, before, don't forget that what led to the violent reaction of Boko Haram was the murder of their first leader. I'm trying to remember his name now. That the argument was whether it was killed by the police or killed by, But the fact remains that that was the catalyst that sparked up the violence that we are still treating today. And that catalyst was what led to Boko Haram. Boko Haram splitted into two. You have the Ansaru. They moved to the northwest. Now metamorphosed today to Lakarua as we speak. All of them, they have their subtle wing, they have their militant wing. OPC, when it came, it was Frederick Fashion that started OPC. It started peacefully, no violence. But Gani Adams had his own wing in, and it became the violent wing at the end of the day. The same thing you talk about IPOB. Nnamdi came with placard. Now Simon Ekpa came. He has his own violent wing out of it. But you look at how do you resolve this whole thing? Non-kinetically, an issue. Look at America. When America is fighting what against terrorism from outside, what America is doing is don't come inside. Before it comes, fight them from outside. That is the foreign policy of America as far as global terrorism is concerned. If not so, by today, America would, because at times when we ask, why is America interested in all these things? It's not happening in their country. They know it's not happening in their country, but they know it will come to America. But Britain is making a fundamental mistake today. You saw what happened recently, where there are a lot of riots and the like. Because if you don't prevent it from outside, it will come to you. And that is the way it works. If for any reason we think that Simon Ekpa is a threat to national security and you are bringing him in, there are sympathizers.
Okay, 1 second, because in the meantime, Ernest in Enugu has called back in. Good morning, Ernest.
Good morning to your guest in the studio and the one in America.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I'm in line with the previous caller, Reverend Dominic, and even the man in your studio. Bringing Simon Ekpa here will not do us any good. please, I prefer, with due respect, you ignore the woman that just spoke. Because she's sitting in Abuja, but we're in Enugu, we're in the east. We know actually exactly what is going on here. Bringing Simon Ekpa here will not do us any good. Look at the one that is going on with Nnamdi Kanu, and a lot of people have begged for him to be released. Let there be a political solution to all these problems. You understand? The woman, with all due respect, doesn't know what she's saying. She's talking just absolutely nonsense.
Well, the lady was having her say. You know, we allow all people to have their say. The lady was having her
it's
say.
No longer like as in deadly the way it used to be. Or still, major markets in Enugu, they are not opening. So please let them not bring him here, because if they bring him here, it's gonna be chaos. Honestly, that is the truth. Instead, let them release Nnamdi Kanu as the major prominent Igbo leaders have suggested. Are you getting me? That will go a long way in appeasing and making all these things to go down, because all these guys, whether they believe it or not, they have got prominent and millions of followers in the southeast. Are you getting me? Let's use political solution in all these things.
All right.
Not how we do this, because Nigerian leaders are very good at doing garagara. Or this thing is not something that we solve with their garagara way or political propaganda. This is not something that they can solve with the propaganda. Let them use politics, political. It will go a long way in solving this problem.
All right.
Thank you. And
really, thank you, Ernest, especially for going to the effort of calling back in again. Now, Dennis, there's this conversation has sort of angled itself to whether or not to bring Simon Ekpa back, and some people saying that it's better that the whole Simon Ekpa issue be disposed of remotely. Don't bring him here. But if, to the extent that newspaper reports can be believed, I read extract from a lead report in the this morning, and it said that that report said that the military has said it is elated on the arrest and detaining of Simon Ekpa. Okay, I wonder how the professionals will see it. We are speaking now because that's why all the military, everybody, that's why they're in employment, is because of us. They have to work for us, for our security, for our safety. Abi, even you yourself, sir, when you were in the service, were you not working on behalf of all Nigerians who didn't know enough to do so for themselves? So I don't know what that means when the military is reported to have said that they were elated. Might part of that elation include, bring him down here, we will treat him fairly? Or might it well include, now that you have him, can you see how you can, resolve the case over there? I don't know. The fact that
Yori, these things don't work just simply like that. There are too many intricate moves that have to be taken before you can even bring him here. Number one, we don't have extradition treaty with Finland, and even if we do, it has to go through the courts, like I said earlier. Do we really want Samuel Ekpa here? What we really want is for him to stop that incitement that he has been doing. If it is to bring him to Nigeria.
But sorry to butt in, Dennis, but Platform Times, a newspaper here, Platform Times has the headline, Defense Headquarters confirms plans to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria for prosecution. Now,
Okay. Yeah, if the military or defense wants to bring him to Nigeria, yes, they can, because of course, anybody that commits a crime against the country who is in foreign country can be, extradited to the country to answer. We have also, like Hush Puppy, committed a crime in the U.S.
Yes.
They removed him from Nigeria down there to come and answer for it. He went to jail, and then, of course, he has come out now, quietly.
Oh, now, I didn't even know that. It's so quiet that I didn't know that. Hush Puppy has been released from jail.
he has finished his jail term from what I read somewhere. I don't know how
well, okay.
that is.
One can't
but
always
anyway, the thing
internet
is this. When he comes into Nigeria, are we just going to lock him up, or we are going to now take him to court and let him answer for those crimes that he has committed? Because that is the trend that I don't like. You know, keeping Nnamdi Kanu, you know, locked up by the government is not solving the problem, because they are not addressing the point. You know, I will feel that, well, if government is very serious, they could send him to the court, get him prosecuted, and if he's guilty, then, of course, let him go to jail. And everybody knows he's going to jail.
Okay, all right. I beg your pardon for interrupting yet again. Forgive me. But Elder David has come on the line. Elder David, good morning to you, sir. Go ahead now, please. I wasn't quick enough. I still lost Elder David in spite of interrupting you for him.
Okay.
Did you want
to? Just like kidnappers, we arrest some of them, we don't prosecute them, we just lock them up, and then kidnapping continues, you know, because we cannot bring out a long list of how many kidnappers we have arrested and prosecuted, and these are the numbers, and, you know, to serve as a deterrent to others.
Okay.
You know? So the whole idea of bringing him is to do what? Lock him up? I don't think he's going to court for now, because Nnamdi Kanu, who is there, has not gone to court. So when are we going to take Samuel Ekpa to court?
Wow.
You know, we work with the Finnish government, and they can prosecute him just like they've done before, and jail him for that incitement, you know, and they can take care of it that way, while we take care of our own here. And the way to take care of our own is to go ahead and use non-kinetic moves by bringing people to the table and talking about why they want to leave Nigeria.
All right now. Elder David, are you still there? I think we lost Elder David. Well, it'll be interesting. Cecilia opened this trend of, look, what are you talking about? Bring him here. Okay, but people have also been explained that, well, that is one point of view. The military, the Defense Headquarters, according to the Platform Times this morning, is saying that Defense Headquarters confirms plans to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria for prosecution. So we'll see how all of that works out. We've heard from you, we've heard from other experts, and no doubt there must be a whole host of experts within government who know how these things could. Elder David, you back? Good morning to you, sir. Elder David, can you hear us?
Elder David, here, please.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Yorin. God bless you. I'm very happy. Please.
Continue, please.
The Prime Minister of Biafra, that young man who considered the Prime Minister. Look, those people said it is not bringing to Nigeria.
He is self-described.
Him in order to cover some of the crimes that man have committed. It's a young man, sympathize with him. They are the ones sponsoring him, so they will not mention their name. Let me tell you too. Even Kanu, I sympathize with Kanu. Kanu is have not committed as well. It's people that are sponsoring them, and they themselves, they are not stating for him to be released, so they don't mention their name. But let us be very careful in this country. With the government we have today, who have good relationship with other countries, whatever somebody is doing to make sure that we have problem in this country, the Almighty Jesus will not forgive them. They are innocent children who are being used by people. Their children are abroad, and when they say they want to bring them, they say don't bring them, because they know they mention their name. This man have nothing. His own father and brother are there. And let me tell you, people sponsoring and people now are taking. Don't bring to Nigeria now, not because he's going to mention them when it comes to Nigeria. They should bring it to this country. Because there are people they have killed in the southeast. The soldiers, the police, and every other thing. Innocent people have been killed. Using this boy name to commit havoc.
We're going to have to leave it there, Elder David. I beg your pardon. So sorry, sir. We're going to have to leave it there. But I did hear from you that you also, think that Simon Ekpa should be brought back, and we're hearing it. We're hearing it. That is your point of view. The military, according to a local paper this morning, is saying that the defense headquarters is also of that mind. In fact, they use the word elated in the initial report that we heard about this whole matter. I want to thank you both gentlemen for airing this issue with us so that we see, we sort of know where we are. And we, most importantly, Nigerians will now be expectant, perhaps in line with Ohaneze Ndigbo, that this event of the arrest of Simon Ekpa will now make a difference to the security landscape in the southeast generally. So I want to thank you very much, Dennis, Mr. Dennis Amakri, MON Security Consultant. Thank you very much, Dennis.
Thank you, Yori.
And also, to you in studio here, Tony Ofoyeton. We'll wait and see how all of this works out. But we do want peace.
Yes.
Whatever, I'm sure all the experts are looking at it and will arrive at a point of view that we shall all know about pretty soon. Okay, that's our program today then. Do please join us tomorrow. No, I'll amend that. Join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.